Welcome students to the Assessment Theory module. My name is Raisa Mohammed Raycliffe and I'll be your facilitator for this cluster. This overview or the slideshow is going to give you an idea of how this course will be administered, a little bit around the objectives, our contact sessions, and also what you can expect from me as your facilitator. So jumping right in, we're looking at the topics we'll be covering. The first three, as you can see here, are broken down into the introduction to assessment, types of assessment, and we're looking at the policy documents that guide assessments for learners in the intermediate phase. Thereafter, we'll be moving on to assessment results, and they're broken down into two parts: fair and unbiased assessment of learners' abilities, and then self-assessment, assessment of the learner, and assessment of teaching programs. So I've identified a couple of course objectives that I think are important for this module, and I invite you to add to them or to discuss any of these with me. It's very important for me that you become a reflective practitioner. And what does that mean? A reflective practitioner is somebody who looks at the way they do things, it looks at the way they administer their courses, looks at the way that they create assessments. And as teachers, you will have to look at the way you do what you do and find out if there's a better way, if there's a different way, and if there's a way more suited to your students. We'll also be looking at the theories and approaches to assessments, the guiding policy documents, and so on and so forth. And I hope that these will all be very interesting for you as you progress through the cluster. Although there are a huge number of assessment definitions, I've added these two, which I think were quite interesting. The University of Delaware website has quite an all-encompassing comprehensive assessment definition, and the Department of Basic Education has used this definition, which you can find in the CAPS document, to talk about how we need to view assessment. As you can see here, I've just added a few other quotes around assessment. It'll start giving you an idea of what we're going to be looking at, what we'll be talking about over the next few months. But feel free to do some research for yourself on definitions of assessment and other quotations. So these are not everything that assessment should include, but these are some of the important tenets or concepts I feel that we should be aware of and assessments should include, and they should be that assessment should be ongoing. It should provide information about where the learner is currently, help them to build confidence and positivity. It shouldn't be something that keeps making them feel like they're failures. You should give your learners tasks that creates confidence boost and creates them feeling a sense of positivity around the work that they're doing. If your learners are learning at different levels, which is inevitable because everyone does not learn the same, give different students different tasks to make them feel like they're able to do something. Assessment should also promote further learning. They should be excited. If you're teaching them today about the birds that live in South Africa, they should then want to be they should be so excited about learning about birds that they should research birds from other countries. So that's just a basic example. Assessment should also promote collaboration, and it should also take learners' needs and barriers into consideration. So we'll talk about barriers a little bit more as you progress. But essentially, barriers are challenges that students have that makes it difficult for them to learn as other students would learn. For example, language could be a barrier. So they're unable to speak the language of instruction as a first language, and that happens quite a lot. We have students who have Afrikaans, Xhosa, or other languages as their first language, and it does become a challenge for them when they need to do the same kind of work that their peers need to do in the classroom space. Other barriers of learning include things like what was previously called dyslexia, but we now refer to specific learning disorders, and so these prevent students from performing the same way as their peers. But of course, we accept every child for who they are, and we support them as best we can. We will also briefly discuss the types of assessments, but this is also something you're going to have to research on your own. Look at the various types of assessments, what they entail, and what they are best, or the type of students they are best suited to, and what they best help you to observe within your student. As you progress through this course, please refer to these questions and find out where you are in terms of answering these questions for yourself. None of the answers are going to be clear-cut. It's going to involve a lot of research on your part. It'll also require a lot of activities, asking yourself questions, going back and reassessing your understanding. So it's important that you go back to all of these questions throughout the module and find out if you've actually answered the question for yourself or if there's more work you feel it needs to be done in order for you to have a good grasp on these questions and, of course, the answers. We'll also be looking at Bloom's taxonomy. It's very important within assessment. That is something you may have touched on in various modules, but I'll create a folder on the drive just to allow you to look at the various ways in which Bloom's taxonomy is interpreted, but I also suggest that you do some of your own research on the topic and understand how it's used, why it's used, and how best to apply it in the various assessments that you'll be planning over your career. You'll be assessed in various ways in this module. At the end of this module, you'll do a video, and the video is going to be a summative assessment, which is going to basically bring together all of your learning throughout the course. That is something that I'm going to put up within the next week or two, so you can really get started or think around the way you'll create this video. I would suggest that you also create a YouTube channel so that you can upload your video to the YouTube channel, which is the easier way to do it. We'll also be doing quizzes, creating a workshop outline, writing reflective essays, and as you've already done, is a definitions activity, which really helps to give you an idea of the topics you'll be covering and also gives you a broad spectrum of the information that you'll need to be bringing into this module. Assessments, as I say at the bottom, is not just about me giving you a mark and finding out whether you've passed or failed, but it helps me to see what you've learned thus far and if there's any areas where you have misconceptions or you're unsure of, so I can go back and help you to understand the concept. Marks are not very important to me. I know they're important to you. You want to achieve the very best mark that you can. But for me, it's about the learning that you've achieved over the couple of weeks or months that we've been working together. If, for example, you submit an assignment but you are unsure, please feel free to speak to me about it. Please feel free to ask me questions. If you submit and you're not happy with the mark that you've received and you feel like you can do better, if it's before the deadline, I'm very happy for you to discuss with me for us to allow you to resubmit and rework your assessments or your assignments. But please, this obviously has to be discussed ahead of time and we need to decide on how long I will take to then remark and give you your final mark. Please don't struggle and not do your assessments because you don't know what to do. I would suggest that you message me or mail me and let me know that you are struggling, you don't know how to go ahead, and I'll be happy to help you. But I would suggest that you first try it on your own, see exactly how much you know or how much you understand before you call me, so that we are able to start at the point where you feel you get stuck. So this is basically an outline of the contact sessions. The contact sessions will be quite interactive and very engaged. We'll be doing a lot of reflections, and I particularly want to speak to the long distance students or the students who are unable to make the contact sessions. Please don't feel like you'll be missing out on anything. I will share with you exactly what we've done within the contact session time, and you're more than welcome to set up a separate time with me via the Zoom platform or Skype, WhatsApp calls, or whatever works best for you. And if there's any areas that you feel you are struggling or you need support or assistance in, I'll be very happy to support you and chat you through it. But don't feel that you're missing out anything extra in the contact sessions. The one thing that I do want to focus on is referencing. And so the next contact session will be around referencing and the way to structure assignments. And those of you who cannot make the contact sessions, I'll be happy to sit with you separately or work through referencing and assessment structure with you separately. And then lastly, it's important for you to know exactly where I get my information from. These are the sources of information I will be using. I use YouTube quite a lot. I upload my videos to YouTube because the Moodle platform does not allow me to put all the videos onto it because the files are too big, so I'll use YouTube. I know it's very data heavy, but please download the videos when you can and then watch at your own leisure, because the videos are going to give you a lot of information on the topics. Also, we'll be using books. I suggest you use books for your research. It's important for you to actually get a physical book and learn how to read and research and reference from a book. We'll be using websites, of course. I'll be doing slideshows. We'll have interactive group sessions and one-on-one sessions, and definitely we'll be using journals, academic journals, because I feel it's important for us to learn how to use academic journals. Beyond this, I definitely would like you to use a lot of your own experience. I'm very big on reflection, so reflecting on your own experience, your own opinions, thoughts and ideas, and this will really bring in, or rather tie in, the information that you find online or in books with your personal information. And research shows that if you bring in your own personal information into your learning, you are more likely to hold the information and understand the information a lot better. So I look forward to working with you over the next few months. I'm excited to take this journey of assessment theory with you. Please feel free to contact me should you have any questions. And if there's anything that you feel could be changed or anything you would like me to add to the course, I'm very open to hearing from you. Good luck with your second task. It's not very difficult, but it will need you to read quite a bit. So please start your reading as soon as you possibly can. Because we started a little bit late due to late registrations, I have extended the due date, but please try to get it done as soon as possible. Otherwise, the other work will start piling up. Thank you.